what we've just seen there. That was very funny.
So, Lenny, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
It's very nice to be here.
We never have enough time, and we always have so much to talk to you about. But we're going to start with the book, this fabulous book,
The Boy with Wings.
Clash of the Superkids.
Yes.
Really fabulous book. I've been listening to you tell this story because I got the audio.
There is an audio book, yeah.
Yeah, and
all the voices, all the sound effects.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
You wrote the theme tune, you sing the theme tune, but it's brilliant. It's so engaging. What I love about it, when I found out it was your Auntie Pearl.
My Auntie Pearl made me join Dudley Library. Hello, Dudley Library. Go in there and get a card and read everything they have. And she sent me in there, and I did. I read everything, and I loved this idea of getting lost in your own imagination. Neil Gaiman says that a book is a dream in your hand, and I totally believe that.
That's lovely.
I think that any kid who's got a book is rich. And there's such a lot of kids in this country who aren't reading at the moment. And I think we should do everything we can, read to them, give them the opportunity to get lost in stories, write their own stories. And I was talking to some kids the other day. I said, you can write about bikes, you can write about football, you can write about music, anything you want to write about, read a book and then make up your own story. And it's kind of what I did. I was inspired by the Marvel comics, and I always thought there should be a superhero that looked like me when I was 12, and there never was one. And so when I got the opportunity to write this book, The Boy with Wings, Clash of the Superkids, I thought he should be 12, he should look like me, and he should have flipping wings. And it's a great adventure. So in the first book, there's 3 books, he discovers the wings. In the second book, he fights a giant robot that attacks the school. And in this one, he has to go to London for some tests with Professor Abigail Shapiro.
Wow.
And he meets some other super kids with superpowers, and they're tested for a bit, and then they realise that something isn't quite right. And they have to come together and unite and figure out what's wrong and then overcome a load of obstacles to get free. And Tunde becomes the de facto leader. So he learns about leadership. They all learn to work together and overcome their problems and defeat the bad guy. Din, din, din.
So are you Tunde? I hear this, listen to this, and I think there's a little bit of Lenny that's Tunde. And was it wings that you wanted?
Well, I always wanted. When you ask kids what superpower they want, you say, who would want wings in this room? And they go, me! You know, so it's wings or teleportation.
Yes.
Kids would love to be able to close their eyes and be in Fiji.
It's all about transport in some way, isn't it?
Yeah.
And not having to trudge anywhere with your mum, just
Or
jump
somebody said
to it.
the other day, being invisible.
Oh, that's a fun one.
That's a good
So, look, you know, you're inspiring a whole new generation. We know that. Were you a keen reader? Was reading important to you when you were little? Was it part of your childhood?
No books in my house. I don't know about you. I'm for a working-class family in Dudley. There were no books in my house. Parents did not read anything to me. So when my Auntie Pearl gave me Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man, the Fantastic Four to read on a journey from Dudley to Birmingham, which is far, man, I read all these books and I thought, this is great. I want to do more of this. So I read loads of comics, but then I wanted more. So she made me join Dudley Library and I started to... And they just said, read anything you want, go wherever, within reason. And I just got this thirst for reading Dickens and Enid Blyton and Just William, the Narnia books. I really got into it and they really inspired me. So to this day, I owe everything to Dudley Library and I'm really grateful for that.
You're 50 years of making us laugh, aren't you?
You're trying to make me feel old.
No.
This is like looking at your own obituary when you're still alive.
He was so dearly
it is, but do you think that the reading and that is what it brought the characters that you bring to us?
Yeah, I think if you think about Dickens and the way he characterises people, and if you read about The Hobbit and all those amazing characters in that, you know, no black ones, but if you read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, you kind of get this sense of you can create characteristics and habits that can make you laugh and move you to tears. And I want to do that with this, you know, Tunde was brought up by adoptive parents, Ron and Ruth, and he doesn't realise for a really long time that he's adopted and also that he may or may not be of this earth. And so, you know, you overcome these things, and I think they have a correlation with your real life. If you grew up and you didn't have any money, if you grew up and you were adopted and you found out about your birth parents, these things matter and move you. So I wanted to write a book that was funny and sad and had adventure in it, but also had some grounding in reality. So I hope kids will... You know, you want kids to read stuff, all books, because books are brilliant. I've got loads of books in my house. My missus is going a bit mad with it all. Why are there so many books here arriving from Amazon? Is this more books? Thanks. There's a lot of books in my house, but I love it. It feeds me. It feeds my spirit.
Your enthusiasm,
it feeds my head.
Your creativity. One of the things that, I mean, it's interesting you talked about the diversity of Lord of the Rings, or the lack of black characters in Lord of the Rings. You ended up playing being a character in this sort of...
There's some brothers in it now.
Yeah. Well, and of course, so that they've addressed that, and also the drama you've written for ITV, Three Little Birds.
I can only talk about that a little bit.
I know.
Because we start it next week, and I'm going to be here again with Alison.
Yes.
And I don't want to blow it all now, because she'll be vexed with me.
No.
Thanks a lot, Bab.
No.
Thought we were going to talk about that.
You're going on this morning to talk about that with Alison, I know, with the cast. But interestingly, that was a story that was very personal to you and your family, the heritage of your family.
Yeah, I think it's important. I don't know about you, but coming from where I'm from, there was a massive influx of Caribbean people into the Midlands back in the day. Loads of factories there. So we're going to go to England. So all my family went there. But this isn't just my family story. Inspired by my mum, certainly. Near the end, when she was about to pass away, she told me loads of things about coming to Britain in the 50s. And then I talked to my auntie and my cousins and my brothers and sisters. And then when we were doing research for the series, one of the producers lent us her parents. And then we read all these books, and we just got this general consensus about what it must have been like to leave a place where there was poverty and hunger and violence, to come to a place where there might be a chance of starting a life again. And I think this idea of migration and sort of demonising people moving from one place to another is awful. There is a society, whatever anybody says about it, we are a multicultural country, and I do think we benefit from the people that come and share their lives with us and bring whatever they've got to our shores. You know, my mum said we brought seasoning to this country. When I come here, they never even put pepper on the food. they never even know what turmeric or curry powder was. No, it's all over the place. So, you know, there's contributions that are made that we have to respect. We walk on giant shoulders, and I think that all of those people that came here before are why I'm here today. So I wanted to do something that honoured them. And, you know, when you write a book like this, there were no books like 15 years ago with black kids on the cover, and now there's lots. And I think to be part of that is a hugely wonderful thing too, to create a person of colour at the centre of a narrative like this. It's great. So get this book for your kids. It's cool.
And it's out now.
And there's loads of adventures in it, and and kids there's a tree with superpowers. Come on.
Lenny, you are one of a kind, which we adore, and you've made a documentary called that.
Well, ITV have made a lovely documentary about... My sister says very nice things.
Really?
It's taken her years.
I was going to say, it must be quite a thing when you got...
She waited for the cameras to be there. And she said nice things about me. And Richard Curtis is in it, and David Tennant.
But
this is me.
What's it been like going back and sort of looking at some of those characters you played and some of the things that you've done?
It's kind of like looking at this wall behind me. It's sort of scary to realise that you've been going for so long.
Are there things that you forgot? Are there things that you treasure when you look back that you maybe didn't appreciate at the time?
I think I'd do it all again exactly the same.
Would you?
Wow.
I would, yeah. And I think you make all the mistakes, and it's the mistakes that make you stronger. I think working with Tracy Ullman was amazing, Tiz was amazing, Comic Relief, meeting all of these people has been wonderful. And the British public, you know, gave £1.5 billion to Comic Relief.
Wow.
Which Richard Curtis and Jane Tewson and me were in a room going, it'd be good if we could get people on the telly and get people to raise money. And then 20 years later, £1.5 billion. So all of these things, being on Mandela Day, you know, and then the next year, meeting Mandela, you know, I like the Spice Girls. It was amazing. So it was, these things are amazing. And, you know, you guys meet everybody. It's lovely. You'll have a scrapbook to die for, to look back and show your grandchildren when the time comes. And I hope I do too.
Well, look, we love the moments when you come and share some of those thoughts.
Thank you. It's
Lenny,
lovely.
Sure.
I want to come on Tipping Point. I keep saying this to you.
I bet you'd be
I'm
great.
going to meet Alison. I can't wait to talk about Bake Off. I like this studio. I want it in my living room.
You can have it.
Every time I come here, I'm going, this is nice, you know. I wonder who decorated. So, yeah, it's nice to come here and talk about stuff.
Well, look, the book is out, as you say, out today. The Boy with Wings Clash of the Superkids.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the documentary's on the 26th.
26th on ITV1 and ITVX. And you're going to be with Alison on this morning.
Talking about Three Little
Is
Birds.
that today or tomorrow?
Talking about Three Little Birds, I think it's next week.
Oh, that's next week. Okay. Because the cast sounds incredible for that as well.
It's a great cast. Hi, everybody. It's a lovely cast, beautifully filmed. And I'll talk about it with Alison.
Yes, stop talking. So you're talking.
yeah.
Lovely to see you, Lenny. Thanks
Nice
for coming.
to see you too.